easy to play piano. In this lesson, we'll be exploring if you think piano improvisation is hard, this simple trick makes it easier. If you're feeling confused about how to arrange chords and want to feel confident improvising at the piano in any social situation, don't miss your chance to sign up for a free consultation below and let's chat. I'll leave a link down below in the description box. I help people just like you go from confused and confident to improvise at the piano in any social setting. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a lesson. So if you're ready, let's get started. I have to be really honest with you. This actually is one of my favorite chords and patterns of all time. It's really simple. Now, if you are newer to improvisation, I want to give you just a little hint to make it easy for you. So if you take the F major triad, which is where we're going to start, all you're going to do is you're just going to add in that seventh. So for frame of reference, here's middle C, F, A, C, find the next F and go down one step. Now, keep your hand position the same. This is what makes this a chord progression and your pattern, your base for improvisation so incredibly easy. So you're going to play the F, A, C, we're going to call it the seventh chord. You're going to keep your hand in the same shape and move it down to the next set of white keys, E, G, B, D. Oh, I love the sound of these chords. Move it down to the next set of chords, D, F, A, and C. Beautiful, beautiful. And down to the next set of chords, C, E, G, and B. Okay, let's put this all together. Now, I get so excited just from hearing these four chords, and we haven't even really begun improvising yet. So, F, E, D, C. Now, if you need a little bit of guidance, just look at your pinky, and this is going to serve as your guide not only for your left hand, but also when we start to improvise and add in layers with our right hand. Play that until your heart feels it. I love it. I love it. Now we're going to add what I call a variation. Now, remember, I just advised you to follow your left hand because now we're going to look at the top note of the chord in our left hand. So we have E, D, C, B. Now, you can probably guess from looking at the score that I've made for you is that we're going to be playing the top of the chord in our right hand. Now, if you're newer to improvisation, if you're newer to chords, don't worry if you make a mistake. This is your time to experience the sound and really embrace your own style of improvisation. So, E, D, C, B. Now, who could have imagined that something so simple creates such a beautiful, beautiful sound? Okay, so let's see how we're going to create and transform this to create some improvisation. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back, same chords in our left hand. Now this time, instead of playing the top note of our left hand chord, we're going to add a fifth below the note in our right hand. So if you need a little help, again, keep your eye on the top note of your chord in your left hand, play the same note in your right hand, and add a fifth below. So if you don't know what a fifth is, count down 5 notes, that's a fifth, and let all the notes in between go, and there's your fifth. Now, you're going to keep the same shape with your right hand and your left hand, move it down to the next set of white notes, down, and down again. Oh, how beautiful. Let's try that. Oh, this is such an incredible base for a beautiful improvisation. Now, if you've been following me for a little while, you know I always like to add in patterns and layers because what's the point of improvisation if you can't make it even more beautiful? So now this time, before, just to refresh your memory, we played the fifth. Now we're going to break up that fifth. So we're going to actually play the bottom of the fifth in our right hand. We're going to start with the bottom, A, and then go up to the top. So again, for reference point, there's the E. You're going to play the same note and play the fifth, but we're going to start with the bottom of the fifth, which is A. Move your fingers down. Beautiful. Okay, let's try that again. One thing great about improvisation is you can create what I refer to as a variation. So if you remember at the very beginning, we started with the F major chord, we added a 7th. Now this time we're going to reverse the pattern. So instead of starting with the F major 7th, we're going to start down with the C major 7th. So C, E, G, and add that B for the 7th. And this time we're going to ascend. That means we're going to move up in range. The great thing is you already have these chords underneath your fingertips from before. All we're going to do is reverse them. So starting with the C, use your left hand pinky as your guide. C, D, E, F. Play that a few times till you get comfortable. Because if you've been watching this video already, you know I'm going to add in more color and make it even easier for you to begin to embrace how you improvise. So here we have the same chords. I'm going to do what we did earlier and play the top note, okay, of the chord. My left hand, I'm going to echo the same thing in my right hand. So B, C, D, E. Again, very simple but beautiful. We're going to go back in and we're going to add that 5th. So play the top, the B, go down 5 notes and make it a 5th. We're going to be ascending. That means we're going to be moving up towards the top end of our piano. Keep your hand position the same. C, D, E, F. Try it again. I mean, that in itself is just such a great base for improvisation. Like we did earlier, we're going to break up that 5th now. So instead of playing the 5th together in the right hand, we're going to break it up and start with the lower note of the 5th. So E, B, B. Again, use your left hand as your guide. B, D. Break up the 5th. Now we have all these chords now that we've looked at. So let's put all of the chords that we have played together so far. Now I'm going to be starting down at our C chord. So C, E, G, and B, that's the 7th. Now remember, really all we're doing is we're just basically moving in a scalar, a stepwise fashion. So C, D, E, and then F. And then F again, back down to E, D, and C. But we're adding, obviously, to build the chord on top. So C, D, E, F, play F again, go back down to E, to D, and then to C. Okay, so again, now we're adding both sets of the chordal figures that we've looked at together. And from here, you can improvise to the moon and back. So let's take a look and see what we can create together. So one way that you can begin to extend your right hand, because up to this point, we've simply just been playing the 5ths, right? And we've been breaking up the 5ths. Now, I want to give you a chance to layer on another level. So we are going to simply add in the notes of the E chord. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, okay? Just those notes. Okay, so not to get into too much detail, but this basically, this is still the C major chord, but we're just starting on the note E and moving up to the next E. So these are the notes that we're going to be using to start to create melodies on top of our beautiful, amazing chord progression in our left hand. In this example, we have the C chord here. Now in my right hand, I still am working around that interval of a 5th, but I'm going to break it up. And I'm also going to change my rhythm. Now, trust me, when you're improvising, the more rhythmic patterns you can create, it creates more interest and more color. So don't be afraid. Even if you make a mistake, just think about how you can change the rhythm. So for example, here I'm playing the fifth, but I'm also going to add in the third of the chord. So B, moving up to the next chord, to the next chord, to the next chord. Now let's play it with a little bit more momentum. Wow, that could be even a great entrance to a piece. Now, if you're curious about how you can begin to use all these improvisation examples that we've been looking at in terms of using them as a way to introduce another piece or using them as a bridge between pieces, I will leave a link below in the description box to the video that will help you just with this. So whenever I am sharing lessons with my students, I always give them a chance. I leave the top blank, but for you, I'm going to add in some left-hand chords just simply as a guide. But again, feel free to make this your own. So we have the chord pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, same chords, just a different rhythmic pattern. So when I put a bracket and I put create, I want you to begin to think about any melody that comes to mind. Now remember, when I talked about this scale, okay, a good thing that you can do to help yourself if you're new to improvisation is limit yourself to the notes just within the scale from E to E. That way you don't get confused and you don't have to move octaves. So that's what I'm going to do right now, but I can't promise if I'm always going to stay within the confines of these two notes, but for now, let's try it. So I'm going to add in my left hand pattern and I'm going to create in my right hand. Okay, so I changed up the rhythm and I stayed within the E to the E. So share with me, how have you created, how have you used this pattern to create your own improvisation? Whenever I am sharing these ideas with my students, oftentimes I'll give them what I call create, and I put a blank, I put a blank bracket on top because I want to give you, because you're here, you're in my heart, you're my student for now on YouTube, and I want to give you that freedom to create. Now, what I suggest is that you stay within the parameters of the notes from E to E. Especially what I do want to offer you is the left hand in terms of a framework. So the left hand is simply the same chords, but this pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to reverse. So we're going to together create something. Now, your melody in your right hand might sound different than mine, and that's what improvisation is all about, right? So I am going to play the notes as written in the left hand as my guide, and I want you to create any melody that sounds good to you. So here we go. And we're going to play this through twice. I want to add in just one more layer because I want to give you as many opportunities to explore your improvisational skills. So one easy and simple way that you can up-level your chords is to arpeggiate them. And what do I mean by that? Instead of playing it as a blocked chord, so all the notes together, F, A, C, E, you're going to roll the chord like this. Roll it, roll it, roll it from the bottom up. Okay, now this adds a different texture, a different layer, a different color to the chord. Now, I still have that create bar on top because I want to give you the freedom to create any melody that you like. So I'm going to play what sounds good to me, and I want you to practice when this video is over with this and see what you can create, see what your melodic creativity sounds like. So we're going to start, but remember, the left hand, we're going to arpeggiate the chord. Really beautiful. Congratulations, you've completed this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next lesson.